Hey, everybody. Welcome to Office Hours. Welcome. Let's get this show on the road. I hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. I hope you've had a good week. Barry, look at that. Barry says it's his first Office Hours. Welcome, Barry. Good to see you here. Carlos, great to see you here. The American Stone, great to see you. Dawson, good to see you, sir. Shelly, we are starting right now. I'm typically always a few minutes after the hour. Let people get here and get settled in, and I'm doing the same. Awesome. Paula, great to see you. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Office Hours. Since we've got several new people, I'll make sure and explain how Office Hours works. I have no agenda for you here other than to try and be helpful. And so I'm just responding to your questions. So any questions that you have, you can type them into the comments here, and I will take them as I get them. And then I will also put in a link right now. That is a link for anybody who wants to join me on camera. So if you have a question that's a little bit longer, more involved, more complicated, we need to screen share, anything like that, then you can use that link and you can join me on camera. When you hit that link, you will not be immediately thrown onto the screen with me, so don't worry about that. I'll see you back there. I'll give you a little heads up to let you know that I'm going to bring you on. You can make sure you're decent, all that good stuff. Mark Gamble, good to see you, sir. Awesome. Love it. Good to see you, my man. Very good. Welcome. Shane says, yo, Shane. Good to see you. I hope everybody's having a great week. I've had a real good week. I've had a very productive week. I think Tuesday was, I think, my most productive single day of the year. And there's some important lessons in it for me, just a simple lesson, but maybe there's some good reminders or takeaways for you in there too. So let me go ahead and share with you what it was that made it so productive for me. The first thing was, like I said, it was Tuesday. Monday, I spent the day doing a lot of kind of the administrative stuff that I need to get caught up on after the weekend. And then most importantly, making my plan for what I wanted to get done on Tuesday. And just, being clear that, okay, here are my priorities. Here are my, top tasks that I want to knock out. Just making sure that I had those all, clarified, because it's easy to, hope to be productive for a day, but then you sit down, and if you don't have a real clear plan of attack, you can waste a lot of time just kind of dilly-dallying, right? So made that plan of attack. And then the most important thing, though, was that I did not check my email until the very end of the day on Tuesday. And email is kind of the last frontier for me in terms of productivity, because I've got my business set up very well in that I've got a great team. I've got great systems in place. Most things operate without a lot of my, I don't need to be very hands-on at all. There are the handful of critical things that I need to be involved in. An office hours call like this, obviously creating content where my face is in the content. I've got to be involved in that at least to some degree, at least for another couple of months here until we've got our perfect AI avatars that I can just have my team create content without me being involved, which is crazy to say, but that's pretty much here. So I've got my team and processes in place, but email is one of those things where it still is largely me going through my email, and I get probably 1,500 emails a day. It's ridiculous. And so I recently invested in the software Superhuman. Their whole value proposition is that they'll save you, hours every week of going through email. And Superhuman has been fantastic. I love the software. It's awesome. But I still it's easy for me to get distracted in email, even if it's stuff that's not that important. I end up, just losing time to it. And next thing I know, my agenda for the day is kind of getting shot. So, new rule for me is that I am not checking email until the very end of the day. That is my new rule for me. The exception to that is if I'm running around, going to meetings or whatever, out having a lunch with somebody, and I can easily just pull it up on my phone and flip through emails real quick, see if anything's urgent. But if it's a day at the office where I'm at my computer trying to get work done, I'm not checking email until the end of the day so that I don't get pulled into reacting to other people's agendas. So it's a very simple thing, but those two things combined, just making sure I had a clear plan of attack for the day and then not checking email until the end of the day, I literally had my most productive day of the year. Content is obviously so important for all of our business, but content is, very important for my business. And I think I got 15 videos done in that one day, as well as some social posts created, as well as emails written. Not emails as in my inbox, emails as in marketing emails. So I just got a heck of a lot done, and it felt great. And like I said, maybe you can take some of the lessons from that and apply it here in the next week for you as well, and make sure you're as productive as possible. All right, questions. Go ahead and throw your questions into the chat. I see Dawson back there, Terry back there, Carlos. Good to see you all, gentlemen. I will get you guys on here in just a moment as well. And I don't see any questions in the comments, so I'm going to go ahead and jump to you guys. Dawson, do you have a question, or are you going to give an update? Raise your hand. Do this if you have a question. Okay, Terry has a question. Dawson, I'm going to go to him first, and we'll get your update here in a few. Terry, good to see you, sir. Oop, I can't hear you. Try again. I'm not here. Oh, you're muted.
I got it.
I got you now. I can hear you.
I'm always on mute because I get so much going on behind me.
Yeah.
Hey, I was in your training last week. I was the American Stone.
Oh yeah, great.
Yeah, I'm Terry.
Awesome. Nice to meet you, Terry.
Yeah, no, it was a great training. I joined HighLevel through another affiliate like 3 months ago, and I've been putting stuff together, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I spent 10 years selling SEO to small businesses and social media marketing. And your training was like really an eye opener. I sold a ton. I was on an auto dialer for like 2 years, 250 cold calls a day, just killing it.
Yeah.
But the problem is like so I could sell them SEO, I could sell them social media marketing, and none of it worked. I mean, small businesses, it's just like the reach, go for the reach, and they can't when they
need everything else.
The marketing works, they can't follow. They can't take advantage of it.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. I mean, so I've been spending the last month or two figuring out how I'm going to do this. And before that, I actually owned a financial planning business where it was back in the 90s, and it was strategy based. It was a strategy that we sold, it was before software, but it was basically a strategy that we would set up for physicians and dentists, and it worked great. So I've been trying to kind of figure out how to put that together. Then I saw your training, and it's all there. So
awesome.
That's really cool. I'm really excited about that. So I just had 3, I hope, quick questions.
Yeah.
The first one's, so I'm on the trying to get my head around how to put the offers in. So I'm in the service package design worksheet.
Yeah.
And so you have the service packages, and basically on the first breakdown, I'm just trying to understand it. These are possible services that would work for each of those things. So if it's reputation, obviously a website or review management, right? So this is just like a general overview of what you could put in to a client's package based on their needs.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and share that document so that other people can see, and I can make sure I know which one you're asking about. Are you asking about this page right here?
Yeah, so starting with that, so that's just like kind of, I like the idea is you're going to give them everything, but you give them everything, but 90% of what's in there isn't going to work for them anyway because of whatever their state is at that point, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and so yes, this is like a laundry list of the things that you could include, and so what I'm not saying when I say give them everything, I'm saying give them everything for the system that you've designed for their business. So if you're selling to restaurants, you may not need to have, I don't know, newsletter campaigns. Maybe restaurants don't send newsletters. A quick service restaurant, maybe they don't send a newsletter. So I'm not saying that you have to list all of these capabilities for your service packages. You should go through here and say, okay, for restaurants, I'm going to do websites, SEO, Yext, review management, web chat, AI voice, but I'm not going to do blogs because quick service restaurants don't really need blogs. So I'm going to get rid of that. So don't have blog in your list. There's no point in overwhelming them with features and capabilities that are unnecessary and not a part of your system. But once you refine that down to your list, what I am saying, is yes, in these, if you go to the packages down here, then what I would say is, yeah, just give them all the capabilities. Like, just make it easy on you, make it easy on them, and just have pricing that's based on usage instead of the capability.
so here you talked in the training about margins, which is super important.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I ran a business for 20 years and margins are everything. So
Yeah.
looking at these numbers of 1,500 SMS or calls or 15,000 emails, are the margins built into this based on that pricing range? Or is that something I got to sit down and do the math on and figure out?
Well, yeah, great question. So you've got,
I'm basically saying, have you already done the work for me?
yeah, but yeah, the answer is yes to a degree. So you still need to do the work, and here's why. You've really got three core areas that are going to impact your margins in these service packages. One is your just cost of HighLevel and the fact that you're providing most of your services through HighLevel, but really there's almost no cost to you at all. And so that's not so much a factor. Second is usage of the resell capabilities of HighLevel. So how are you marking up your SMS, your email, things like that? So that's completely under your control, and that is something that you need to decide is, when somebody uses the SMS and the email, I'm going to add a certain markup to it to make sure that I charge them for it appropriately and have the margins I'm looking for.
And you recommend we do mark it out, not just pass the cost through?
Oh yeah. No, I definitely recommend that you mark it up. Yeah. I mean, if the reality is that if businesses are taking advantage of those features from you, your costs, if you don't mark it up at all, I mean, as long as you're charging for a base package, $497, $697, theoretically, it's not anything that is taking away from your business. But I do recommend that you mark it up, and that you grab some of those margins where you can, for sure. The
Okay.
more that somebody uses those and uses your system, probably they're more likely to have some more support with you and things like that. And so those margins are just going to help you kind of take care of that. And then the third factor, and this is the big one, the third factor that's really going to impact your margins is, what are you doing in addition to the HighLevel capabilities as part of your service? Particularly, what are you doing that could involve human time and effort? So it could be, that you're taking a more full service management approach to their marketing. So, we're not going to just set this system up for you. We're also going to be in there responding to chats for you, or we're going to be responding to negative reviews as the first line of defense to try and head those off. Whatever it is, you could decide that that's part of your service. And so if that's the case, then you really need to make sure that you're accounting for that time and the cost of that time in your price point.
Okay. That That makes sense. So when we're looking at these packages and we're trying to put together like what the core, going back to the first slide, the core things we're going to offer.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying, which I can see, what you offer would probably depend on the niche, the type of business.
Correct.
Restaurants would be different than plumbers, right? So
Correct.
how do you market that? Like on your website where you show your packages, do you have like, this is what I generally do for plumbers, this is what I generally do for uh, real estate agents?
I mean, if you're taking a broad approach,
Mm-hmm.
then I would just focus on the major benefits. So we help you generate more leads, follow up with your leads more effectively, and convert them into more customers. I would, yes, acknowledge and present some of those core features and capabilities that are generally going to be used across all businesses. So you could put, we build effective websites, and we have AI chat or web chat or lead capture and marketing automation, things like that. So you could mention those core capabilities. You don't need to worry about having specific messaging for specific verticals unless you get to the point where you feel like, okay, I'm going to be marketing enough to those verticals that having that specific messaging and having a specific landing page I can drive them to and things like that is really it's going to be worth it for me to invest in.
I
And
I can see that happening, but
yeah,
so in the beginning though, do you think it would just be a headache to just basically list everything and then explain that it's going to be put together based on your particular business and what your upfront needs are?
I don't think that there's value in listing everything.
Okay.
It's overwhelming. Businesses don't understand this stuff. They don't care about all these features and all this technology. What they care about is that they're getting a sense that some of their problems are solved. And so, and every small business has the same set of problems in their mind, right? I need more customers. I need more money. I need more time. I need less headaches. I need less cost. It's like you're just really stressing those benefits.
Okay, so then if we go down to this slide where it says basic, pro, and premium,
Mm-hmm.
versus the one below it, the ad system service packages, I don't understand what the relationship, if there is one, is between those two. Like if I just put up on my website, hey, this is the basic, pro, the premium,
Uh-huh.
we're going to focus on reputation and resell, get you started. This is the volume.
Yep.
Do you think that would be enough? And so you're not really listing anything in terms of specific services, specific.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's in what I would recommend that you do
Mm-hmm.
is that you have some of the core, again, kind of features and benefits listed here. Just don't overwhelm them with a huge laundry list. I would have 5 to 7 core features and benefits. SEO and mobile optimized website, lead capture, whatever, AI chat, lead capture and follow up,
Okay.
marketing automation, campaigns, automated marketing campaigns, things like that. Just like some of those core capabilities. Um, so
Okay.
you can see like down here, like I said, you've got this core package, and then down here I've added on Facebook ad service, giveaway campaigns, birthday campaigns, special offer campaigns, funnels and service. So I would have some of those things listed to show the differentiation between one package and the next.
Okay. That that makes sense.
And here's the reality, just to throw this in there, especially when you're just getting started. Nobody's going to come and just sign up based on the packages on your site. They're going to have a conversation with you. They're going to have questions. Like when you start getting somebody to come and just sign up on your site for those core packages like that, it's because you've already developed some sort of relationship with them in the marketplace. They've been following you for a
Right.
while. They've been following your newsletter, following your content, and they're finally like, okay, it's time to get signed up. And I'm familiar enough with these guys, and I'm going to go here and just hit this package and put in my credit card. But everybody else, especially like I said at the beginning, when you don't really have a reputation out there and people aren't real familiar with what you're doing, they're going to want to have a conversation. So just this is really just kind of bait a little bit to get them into that conversation.
Right. So from the seminar, the R6 slides, where do we find those? Or I hunted around because that's what you want to have the conversation around, right?
Inside of High Leverage Agency is the primary place.
Okay, so I guess my next step is I can upgrade my Go HighLevel through you.
Yep. Yeah, you'll get access to all the bonuses if you do that. Yep.
So how do I do that? Is there a link that I can go ahead and do that?
Yeah. Yep. If you
I'm sure there is.
Yeah, here, let me just pop that in here real quick. If you just go here, I'm gonna put this URL in the chat.
I just want to make sure it goes through right because I really want to get away from the affiliate that I'm with right now.
Yeah, and to be clear, you won't be getting away from the affiliate, but you'll still get all of our bonuses. So you can you can still get all the same benefits that you get from us as if you originally signed up with us.
Awesome. And then I guess my last question is like starting out with the marketing. I listened to that interview you did with, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but he's doing the reputation management.
Clay, yeah.
Yeah, and he starts out with texts and phone calls and like face-to-face meetings. I'm old school. I mean, I used to go door to door selling stuff. So
that's awesome.
I'm really comfortable doing that. So is that something that anyone's doing, or you have any opinion on that?
On door to door?
No, not door to door, but I mean reaching out to people. Like he was talking about he would just set up a meeting at a coffee shop. Like
totally. Yeah. So look, here, and I think you're perfectly set to be able to do really, really well with this because of your background and your sales experience. Because most people are looking for the easy answer of how do I get customers, and that's not you. You've got the experience to know that the way you get customers is you just go get customers, whether that's cold calling, knocking on doors, whatever it is. Clay gets that. Clay is making content. He's talking to everybody he meets. He's going out to coffee shops and saying, "Hey, is the manager here? Can I talk to him for a minute?" I mean, he's doing everything. And if you listen to that interview, I asked him, "Hey, what did you do to get that momentum?" And he's like, "Man, I just do everything." And that's what I would recommend to everybody is you just do everything. Like it's all this compounding effect. And so that's what I would tell you too is just get the enthusiasm up to 120%. Right. And just I'm creating some new social content. I'm sending out emails. I'm doing cold calls. I'm talking to people. I'm going to networking events. Like every opportunity to talk about my business, I'm taking it. And that's how you're going to get that initial momentum. And then what I can't finish that without making it clear as I possibly can to everybody that then what gets you out of having to just do that hustle all day, every day is content and building your list. Content is the sales force that's working for you 24/7, right? Without you having to put any effort into it once it's created.
Yeah, I have YouTube channels and blogs and all kinds of stuff going on, other stuff. So
you just want to be consistently, you just want to be consistently putting content out there. Never, ever, ever stop that because that is your sales force that just continues to work for you. Every piece of content is an asset. Every one of those assets has the ability to pull in at least one customer a year. Some of them are going to pull in a lot more than that. And so you just want to get them out there everywhere that you can. And pretty soon, the amount of chasing that you have to do, drops to almost nothing. Yeah, I used to do live seminars for doctors. They'd come to a lunch and I'd explain to them, how they were going to make it financially. And then you get the follow-up. So no, that's great. I really appreciate your time. I didn't mean to take up all of this, but it's great stuff. And, no, it's good. It's a great question. I appreciate it.
Talking again soon.
Awesome. I love it. Thanks for being here, Terry. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, let's see here. Bruno, I see you back there. You ready? Awesome. How's it going, sir?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks. How can I help?
I need to clarify some things. So I'm the dude from last week. This is weird. Like kind of changed my name. So my name's Alan.
Okay.
My middle name's Bruno. People call me Elaine all the time. I just moved to Sarasota, new life. I moved from Chicago, so now I'm just going by Bruno. So I'm the same dude, but
Cool.
just
All good.
I'm a unique situation. So I don't know if you remember, but I was explaining, like, I have been on a Go High Level system for like a couple of years at this point through, I don't want to blast them in case I'm saying anything negative, but it's what I'll say is it's a platform that they geared very specifically towards wedding photographers. That's what I've been doing for like 15 years. And just like really quick, how do I put it? Like I started using their system to Go High Level. I love building that stuff. I love building automations and things like that. And I built myself like a really robust like appointment automation. It looks like a giant spider web. And I realized that I should sell this to other people, blah, blah, blah. And it came across your stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I should do a whole completely different thing. So I just have, I guess, some questions about things since I've already been using it. Kind of like weird specific questions that I'm curious about. So I guess his example is like, so for the automated missed call text back thing that we can offer, blah, blah, blah. If a business has an existing number, how do we integrate them into Go High Level to like, or do we give them a new number? Because I've had my experience through the, I guess you call it agency that I'm with. So that's what I've been exposed to. That's what I know about Go High Level. But like, I think they're doing it wrong. I think they're doing it how you were saying last week, and also in some of your training, that they're just pretty much offering it software as a service, not productized services. And so that's why, you know, and then I was asking too about like, if people find out about Go High Level on their own, what stops them from going on their own? Because I think people did that, and they put a post in their Facebook group, and they're like, we just want to be clear. If somebody wants to go on their own High Level account, like you can totally do that. We'll let you do that. We'll migrate you, blah, blah, blah. I thought that was interesting. But the way that your stuff talks about productized services, so they're paying for whatever you built them and stuff like that, it makes a lot of sense to me. But anyhow, so how does it work to integrate a phone number for those services?
So integrating the phone number first, yes, you need to get them a number. And then second, you would just forward their existing number to the new number. Okay. So that, and then just start using the new number that you get them everywhere, in particular that you're doing any sort of marketing. So if you're running any sort of ads or anything like that, you would always want to have that new number in there. So and you're going to come across businesses that are like, oh no, my old number is precious. I've been using it for 10 years. And it's like, no problem. Just keep your old number wherever you want to. We'll just forward it to the new number. The reality is, nobody cares about your number. Nobody knows your number. Nobody, I mean, people just have their numbers in a phone, or they Google it real quick and hit, so.
But even if someone calls their old number, it's still it works, obviously.
It still works. Yeah.
So that's the solution there.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm also curious about customer support. If a customer needs help with something and they go to the chat bubble, in their sub account, Go High Level handles that, right? Is that included? No, they do not.
No. If you're giving them a sub account, you're on the hook for support, and that's the way that you want it to be. You want to be providing support to your customers. So okay. I would highly recommend that you do just like what I do, which is you have a support ticketing system and you have people email support. And then, of course, they can use the chat. The chat conversations will go into your conversations in High Level. And so I have my team, my support team goes through our support tickets. They also go through our conversations tab, so they can see people that are requesting support in there as well. And then they'll create a ticket in the ticketing system.
So anyone that has support, because I've experienced support through the agency that I'm with currently. So that's their own, I guess, virtual assistants, whatever they've put together, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. Yep. Okay, cool. I know offering a free website is one of the offers that you suggest. Like a foot in the door situation. What if they already have a website? Are there other foot in the door things to consider?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Lots of other foot in the door things to offer. Yeah. I mean, if they already have a website and it's a good website, a lot of businesses have websites, but they're terrible websites. They know it. They would like to have it updated. And so, you know, with with foot in the door offers in particular, you never want to have to force the foot in the door offer. So you put the foot in the door offer out there. It's a sexy offer. It's an attractive offer. The right prospects should immediately go, "Ooh, that's something I want." You don't want to have to like push on somebody like, "Oh, your website is actually not very good. We should build you a new website."
Right.
That's
Yeah.
that's a terrible pitch to be making at $97 a month. So
Yeah.
instead, you want to market it and let them come to you, raise their hands and say, "I'm interested." And that's why you want to have a variety of foot in the door offers so that you can hit them with some different angles.
Yeah. I find that a lot of businesses and different people don't have good appointment booking systems with like reminders.
Sure.
I used Calendly for a while. I wasn't happy with, there wasn't enough customization. So that's why I built mine from scratch.
Yeah.
But it's super solid. Like I'm kind of proud of myself if I can
That's
say
awesome.
that. So I really want to be able to resell that to people.
Yeah.
Is that a good from the door offer, or is that too much?
I think it can be. I think that you have to. Your concern, I think, is valid. I think what you need to do is kind of pare down, like, here's what you're getting, to try and simplify just the messaging around it and the capabilities around it, so that you don't have to spend too much time customizing and things like that. But I do think it's a very attractive offer because a lot of businesses do need it. I think a simpler one that's related to it. So you mentioned businesses that already have their websites, but 99% of small business websites have zero engagement capability to them. So there's no chat popping up. There's no lead capture devices popping up. There's no exit pop. There's no offer being made. The phone number on there, if somebody calls it, good luck actually reaching somebody, and you'll never hear back from the business if they miss the call. So if somebody has a good website already, I'm going to say, hey, look, you've got a great website. To be honest with you, though, it's not very functional in terms of an effective marketing system. And here's why. It's a pretty brochure, but what it's missing is engagement to actually get the people who are visiting you to turn into prospects and customers. Totally. Now your message is, I can work with what you have. I can enhance it. And it's a great introduction to the concept of a functional marketing system, not just looking pretty, right? And that's really where you want to get, is into that conversation, because that sells the rest of your stuff.
This might be granular, but so like in terms of specificity, so then do you, let's say they have a Squarespace site, do you request like a user or something, like a login, and you install, let's say, the chat bubble, or do you just say, here's the chat bubble, here's the code, you do it? Like
I would in almost all cases just request a login and be able to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, most small businesses don't have that capability on their own to do it. And then they may have somebody that helps them with this stuff. They may have some sort of webmaster, web consultant, something like that already. Ideally, you don't want to have to work through that person, because it can mess up your relationship. So
right, if they screw it up or something, they blame you or whatever.
And they could also just try and unsell whatever you're selling, right? They can, oh, hey, we can do all this. Maybe you didn't know that we have these services too. So
yeah. And so then, how do you then, after someone, let's say they take the bait on a foot in the door deal, what does it look like to upgrade them to like a more robust? Let's say they're doing a $97 a month thing, but how do you get them to $297, $497?
Yeah. So if you, this is explained in more detail in my training, but like just to try and give the structure of it. You sell that foot in the door. Let's say it's a $97 a month offer, like you're saying, and then you have your $297s and $497s. The key that, to me, I believe the best way to do this is that in your messaging, you are always talking about marketing systems and a complete marketing system, and how businesses benefit from having a complete marketing system. So now when you've sold them that foot in the door, your messaging is, this is one critical component of a complete marketing system. Now, when they've had success with that, say it's 30 days later and you're following back up with them, then you get them on a call. Hey, how's everything going with X? Seems like it's going great. We've been looking at the data and the performance. Everything's going great. Awesome. Well, as you know, X is one part of our complete marketing system. If you have a few minutes now, I'd love to just take a few minutes to walk you through what that complete marketing system is, to see if it's a good fit for you to take advantage of the other capabilities that we can bring to your business. And then you're taking them through all these amazing capabilities. It's only $200 a month more, right? So, and you'll get, my experience is that you'll get, say, 20% to upsell on that in kind of that short time frame, kind of the immediate time frame, which is fantastic. A 20% upsell rate is fantastic. But then you just keep marketing to them. There's a lot of those businesses that are going to go, right now, I'm not so sure, but you keep marketing to them, you keep following up with them, nurturing them. Then, down the road, that 20% is going to become 40%, 45%. And that's a fantastic model.
Okay, cool. That's all helpful stuff. I didn't know you post a link for us to actually chat with you. I missed it last time, but this is awesome.
Cool.
I don't want to take up too much time. So,
it's awesome. I appreciate it. It's good questions, man.
Yeah, thanks, dude. I haven't felt this good about some new opportunity in a long time, and I'm getting burnt out with the wedding photography. So,
I love it. Well, it sounds like you've got some good new changes in your life and cool opportunities. So good luck with them all.
I mean, the people here in Sarasota are like super nice, but it's very like Florida and chill.
Yeah.
It's like a mix of like a nice, it's like ritzy, but also beachy at the same time.
Yeah.
Service provider, businesses, movers and plumbers and whatever that are not going to have any of this stuff set up.
Yeah.
If I can make it work, I don't know. So
that's awesome. I love it.
Thanks again, man. And I'll be on next week. And
sounds great.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. I think I'm going to go to some questions here on the side. Got a lot of questions that came in. Thank you, everybody. Does Go HighLevel have any ability to filter or prioritize email? I mean, the answer is yes. It's just that, I mean, if you think about HighLevel as, at this point, a pretty raw set of tools that you could do pretty much anything with. I mean, because you've got tags, you've got workflows. Like, if you have kind of a mad scientist hat on and go, what do I want to create or do inside of HighLevel? There's almost no limit. So yes, it does have the ability to filter or prioritize email if you're taking advantage of some of those capabilities. Is it something that's really natively built in to be like the tool that I was referencing earlier, Superhuman, where it really helps me organize things and get through email very efficiently? No, that's not its core capability. Jerry says, can I get an affiliate benefits from you if I use your AI employee referral code? Yes, you sure can. And thank you so much for asking. Let me see where that is. Give me 1 second and I'll just grab it for you. Oh, that's right. I know what it is. Lab Special. Let me just pull it up real quick and I'll copy the URL. Yeah, if you go right here, let me go ahead and create a banner of this one. I'm doing it. Right there, labspecial.com/GoAI. Labspecial.com/GoAI. You can do that. And thank you. I appreciate it. I'll put the referral link in here as well. And that's essentially if you sign up for the AI unlimited service, so the $97 a month service, then you'll get all of our bonuses. Okay. Just starting out with HighLevel and ready to offer to clients. What is the best way to get started figuring out packages and getting them started? Paul, I mean, obviously I'm biased and that I'm going to tell you that the best way to do it is my way. But, I mean, obviously there's a lot of different approaches out there that people are taking. So in my training, and if you just go, I have a free course that will take you through my package design sheet, which is what I was showing earlier, which is this right here. So this package design sheet, what I've done here is I have outlined a variety of different ways to approach creating service packages that are all successful approaches that can be done. And I've put a variety of them here because the reality is there are, a number of different ways that you can do this. And to some extent, it depends on who it is that you want to serve. And to some extent, it depends on the competition in that niche and how you want to stand out from that competition. And to some extent, it depends on your capabilities, your background, and so what, unique knowledge or experiences that you could potentially bring to your service packages, right? So maybe you are excellent at Facebook ad management and you're saying, yeah, I really want to have a layer of Facebook ad management to my services because I'm going to crush that for these guys. Cool. If you didn't have that experience, I would tell you, don't put Facebook ad management into your services right away because Facebook ad management can be a tricky thing. And so even though you theoretically could, I would say not to do that right out of the gate. So, you're going to have to make those decisions on your own. But again, you can take my free course, which is servicesthatscale.com, I believe, fast start. And let me just make sure. Yeah. So if you go to this right here, just in case you don't have it, servicesthatscale.com/fast start. I'll put that URL in here as well. You can get that free course. It's going to give you a variety of my training resources. It's going to give you some of my advice on how to understand the fundamentals of this business and what works in terms of packaging, pricing, margins, things like that. I try and give you some good background there. And what I am not, just so you know, just coming into this, I am not somebody that's going to tell you, here's the one exact way that you should do this, because I don't believe that that's true. And I think it sets you up for failure because the market is always changing. Competition's always changing. So my approach is that I really try and teach you the fundamentals of the business, like gross margins and things like that, because you need to understand that. So as your business requires you to adapt going forward, you're going to have some of that knowledge to be able to adapt. So as I said, there won't be me prescribing to you to create these exact packages and do it this way, but I will give you, I hope you will find that I'm giving you the fundamental knowledge in there to help you make a decision. And you can always come on here and say, hey, Mike, I'm thinking about these 3 packages. What do you think? And I'm happy to give you my feedback. Okay. Martha, no problem. Sorry about that. Sometimes, with email and stuff, the links don't make it through. Yes, absolutely. Just email help@servicesthatscale.com. help@servicesthatscale.com. I'm going to go ahead and pop that up on the screen here and we will get you taken care of. Okay. And Martha, you can let them know that Mike said it's okay for you to still get access. We have all the recordings and all the resources and stuff. So I will make sure that you still get access to that training so that you can still go through it. Okay. But my apologies on that. Let's see. We've got. Shelly says, darn, I thought this was going to be about their San Diego. Sorry, Shelly. Hold on. If you have any questions, I can help you with that. Paul says, do you sell tools as one price and then charge separate for doing the work for them? No, I package things together. I do not sell just tools to anybody. That is a different customer than I think that you should be going after. A tools customer is somebody that understands marketing enough to sit down and use tools. That's not who we're selling to. We're selling to small businesses that their mindset is, I don't have time to use any damn marketing tools. I'm not going to sit down and learn how to build funnels. I'm a plumber. I'm not trying to get a marketing degree here, right? That's who you're going after. So no, I don't sell just tools. Marketing tools are for marketing people. We're selling to people that are chiropractors, plumbers, restaurant owners, and they want to stick in that. Okay. Chris, both. So we've got a package that's a pay per message, and then we've got a package that's an unlimited. So that way, as they start using the pay per message, they can say, oh, just give me the unlimited. Okay. Are you charging a client for Go High Level AI? Yep. Yeah. So you, as an agency, Chris, I would recommend that you take advantage of their unlimited monthly, with their flat monthly. And then that gives you the ability to use as much as possible. With your customers, I would recommend that you do exactly what I just described. You have two different packages. One is a pay per use, and one is an unlimited, because the pay per use allows you to kind of get them into it and get them hooked. And then the unlimited is ideal if they end up having the volume to justify it. It makes sense for them to just go all in and get the unlimited. Okay. Stuck on signing a new client up. Once they want to sign up for a package, shouldn't they agree to some terms of service agreement that protects me as a provider? Yes, absolutely. You should have a terms of service for sure, Chris. I would recommend that you take the approach that I've always taken, which is you find another service provider that is in the business very publicly, like a HubSpot or a somebody like that, and get their terms of service, which you can just do with a good old Google search or go to their website, and you'll find it pretty quick. And then load that sucker into ChatGPT or your favorite AI platform and say, hey, can you make this for my business? That's the way I would do it. Prior to ChatGPT, that's the way I always did it, with a good old, find HubSpot, replace with my business's name. And then, I'm not a lawyer, so the smart advice is for you to make sure that a lawyer reviews everything or puts it together for you. But if you just look online, there's tons of examples. There's tons of service agreements that you can get from like templated websites that will cost you very, very little. Honestly, you could just go into ChatGPT right now and just say, write me a terms of service, and it will write you one. So that would be my recommendation. Probably bonuses. Did you say we can sign up on you and get all your bonuses? Yes. Yep, Paul, at that link that I shared before, which is this one right here. Yep, you can sign up, you can upgrade, you can do whatever you want. You'll get all my bonuses. Okay. Chris, you ready to come on board? Give me a wave. Yeah, cool. How's it going?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, good to see you.
How you doing, brother?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Too blessed to be stressed, man.
I love it. What's going on?
I thought I'd, if you're open to it, jump on and share a win to offer some encouragement to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. I'm sure people would love that.
So I joined you 37 days ago. And one of the ways I live my life, and this is part of my encouragement, one of the ways I live my life is I'm always asking myself, how can I create a story?
How can you create what?
A story.
Oh, cool. I love it.
Right? Because everyone loves stories.
Yeah.
So I always tell my wife, hey, if something's going on and I feel like her thinking's in the wrong direction, I'll be like, honey, when we get to our deathbed someday, you're not going to look back and go and say, I'm so glad I did that the way that you're doing.
Right.
So the way that applies here is when I joined your program, in my head, I'm like, I'm not going to get to my deathbed and go, man, I'm so glad I didn't just go out there and talk to that local business owner. No, I'm going to say, honey, do you remember that time I started that business and that Mike guy was mentoring me and I just went for it and I talked to that local roofing business and they just told me I was the biggest idiot in the world and they kicked me out of their office and said, never come back. And we just laughed, right? That'd be a great story.
That's right.
So that was my mindset coming into your program. And as a quick side note, just for people listening, I've done massive amounts of research on Go High Level, on people like Mike. I actually joined 4 different. Now, I'm not suggesting anyone do this, but I joined 4 different trainers. I'm like a speed to target guy. So I joined 4 different trainers. I started going through all their, I was like, Mike has got this dialed in way higher than anyone. It's not even close.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I said,
Thank you.
I'm going all in with Mike. And I jumped into that high leverage agency training.
Yeah.
And in that training, you say, hey, listen, just for an expectation, if you were to just commit to take 30 days and just go through everything, get it set up, if you can go faster, great.
Yeah.
But if you want to just set a realistic expectation, do 30 days, get everything set up, and in a day 31, start going.
That's right.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to create a story. So at some point in the future, I'm going to get on the call with Mike, and I'm going to share some type of win with him, whether it's I got my face beat in or whatever. So I made a commitment. You know, I was getting up at like 5 a.m. every day, listening to your trainings in the high leverage. I've got a 30-minute drive to the gym and back every morning. So I'm listening on my phone. I got the app on my phone. I'm going through the trainings.
Love it.
You know, at night, like I told my wife, I said, hey, I'm going to have to get out of balance for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to be working weekends. I got to get this thing off the ground.
I love it.
So I'm doing the weekends. So 30 days was last Friday. I joined you on a Friday. So I hit my 30 days last Friday. Yesterday, I go to a local business meetup group at the end of the day. I wasn't even going to go. I was tired. And I was like, oh, man, I just remembered I got invited to this. Well, crap, I run a local business marketing service. I'm a local business marketing service. But like, what am I doing? Like,
got to do it. Yeah.
How am I not going to go to this?
Yeah.
Even though I'm tired, like, do I even want to make money? Do I care about making,
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll go. So I go, and my buddy's there, and they're having people put their name on a name tag, and then they're having you put your name on this other piece of paper and throw it into this hat. And then after like an hour, they get all the business owners in a circle, and then they're like, hey, we're going to draw someone to like just pitch their business and tell us what they do. And he goes, hey, man, he's like, and he gives me this stupid looking piece of paper that's different from all the other ones. He goes, put your name on here. I'm going to make sure you get drawn. And I'm like, all right. So he's like reaching in, and he's like kind of looking at it. And I'm standing like right next to him.
Yeah.
And I see him, I go, is he serious? And I'm kind of like watching, and he like grabs my piece of paper, and he goes, Chris White, come up here to the front. And I'm like, oh, I'm right here. And he's like, oh, hey. He goes, all right, tell us about your business. And I'm like, awesome. As a quick side note, I forgot to share this part. On my drive to and from the gym, I had your script printed out.
Nice.
And I would just talk to myself in the car like I was doing a strategy session. So I'm just like talking back and forth like in my car. So I get up there and I say, hey, my name's Chris White. It's nice to meet everybody. Listen, I own a company that helps roofers become, and I'm just creating this story. I don't even know what I'm saying, right? I'm just like big smile on my face. I got confidence, or at least I'm projecting it.
Yeah.
And I said, I help roofing businesses become the preeminent choice in their local market through what we call category of one positioning. And if there's any roofers here, I'd love to talk to you and see if it might be a good fit. That was it. That was all I said, because I was like, I just got put on the spot. So there's 2 roofers there. And this one guy comes up to me. He goes, hey, what do you do? And I just stood there with confidence. And I repeated back, I help, roofing companies become the preeminent roofer in their market, through what we call category of one positioning. And what we do is we use an AI command system to make all of this pretty close to automated through a marketing system strategy. And, I guess my question for you, Mr. Roofer, is do you feel like your business is like in a position you're ready to become the preeminent? And I have to ask you that because I only work with one roofing business per city. And he's like, it caused him to think. And he's like, I think we are. And then I started asking him questions. Tell me more about, what do you like? I got into the whole, and I got that from all the questions that you have in the training.
Love it.
All the questions are there. So I remembered probably 30% of them. So I'm just like firing questions at him.
Yeah.
At the end of the conversation, he goes, all right. He goes, call me next week. Let's do this. And And I said, well, okay. I said, well, just so you know, I didn't even ask me what it cost. So I said, okay, well, just so you know, before we get together next week, I want you to know that we have a 2-phased approach. The first phase is month 1. We call that our critical path accelerator. I know, Mike, in the training, you call it the surge.
Surge, yep.
I don't know, maybe I'm
Critical path accelerator sounds brilliant.
Like I said, we have what we call the critical path accelerator, where we analyze your business and we figure out what are those 80-20 activities that are going to get, and I'm doing this, like going to get your business off the ground. And so that's going to be $1,500 for the first month. And then from there, we go into optimizing, managing, and supporting you as you become the preeminent. I said, that's $697 a month. And he goes, I lose more money than that a month. He's like, call me next week. So
that's awesome.
So one of the big takeaways there, one of the big high-level takeaways for me is competence breeds confidence.
Yeah.
And so competence, this is for everyone listening, this is how I think about it. Competence comes from what I already shared, which is I just made a commitment. I just went through all Mike's training. Mike's got everything there that you need.
Practicing.
You don't have to overthink it.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't know anything other than it's an AI command system.
Yeah.
That's all he knows.
I love it.
He's in, right? So I think the key is like, go create the story. If that guy had like thrown his beer in my face, I'd still be here telling you that story. And I'd be like, it was great. I'm in the game, No,
congratulations, man. I love it. That's a great job taking action. I think that's exactly what it takes. It's exactly what everybody should be doing is, as you're saying, just like immersing yourself in the messaging, the script, so that you feel confident and comfortable talking about it, and that your message doesn't have to be perfect. It's got to be, like you said, it's got to be delivered with confidence, and it's got to hit the handful of key messaging points that's going to make a small business owner go, oh yeah, I need that. That's for me. Those are problems that I have. And you did that. You hit on them. It sounds like you asked some good, smart questions, which is always critical because you're getting them talking and getting them sharing, hey, here are my frustrations. Here are my struggles. Here are the things I've already invested in that aren't working or didn't work. Like, that's what it's all about. So
I think at the end of the day,
man, I love it.
I think he just kind of liked me at the end of the conversation
which is incredibly important. I mean, if you can, one of the benefits of selling locally is you can go out there and you can get that face time. And if you can go out there with confidence and you can communicate and you've got that enthusiasm, then that's going to give you a huge advantage over somebody who's just selling online, right? I mean, that's the benefit of having those local connections and being able to actually go out and interact with people. So that's awesome. I love it. Yeah. And positioning yourself as a guide. I cannot stress that enough. Like, what you did is you positioned yourself as, hey, I'm somebody who can help you accomplish these goals, and here's how. And even if you didn't have to get into the nitty-gritty details of it yet, the fact that you can speak to it, the fact that you can articulate a message to them to help that guy go, oh yeah, I can see what you're talking about. I need that. Now he's looking at you as a guide. He's looking at you as somebody who can lead him and his business to a better place. And when you do that, it's game over. That's the difference between somebody was asking earlier, Mike, do you just sell the tools? No, I do not just sell the tools. And you should not just sell the tools. That is a commodity. Tools are a commodity. Every one of us has access to the same tools, and every VC startup with $100 million has the same tools as well, essentially, right? Tools are a total commodity. If I, as a business owner, don't know what the heck to do with those tools, if I haven't been studying marketing, if I don't understand this stuff, it's useless to me. And what is going to differentiate in my decision-making is Chris being that guide. He's saying, hey, look, I can bring this stuff to life for you to get you the business results that you're looking for. And that's totally different positioning. And that's how you get somebody that's following, somebody is now following Chris. That guy is now following Chris. He's not following just the tools. He's following Chris and saying, yeah, that Chris guy knows what he's talking about. I want to continue learning from him and executing on what he's saying to grow my business. And again, that's totally different positioning. That's where you want to be, not selling tools.
Amen.
Awesome, man. I love it. Congratulations.
Thanks for letting me share,
And I
bro.
would tell you to keep up the hustle, but I know you're going to. We'll hear back from you here in another month.
I'll
I
be
know
back
you're going to have more
again.
good stories.
Thanks for all your value, brother. You're doing awesome.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being here, sharing your story.
All right. Take care.
All right. You too. Let's see here. Dawson, you're coming up next. Is the R6 part of high leverage agency? It's part of high leverage agency, not high level agency, but yes. Yep. Which course do I recommend starting with? If you want to just get a taste of me and what I'm about and what I have to offer, just go get that fast start because you can get it for free right there. Okay. But if you're like, oh yeah, I'm picking up what Mike's laying down and I want to go for it, then, get my full bonus and then just jump into high leverage agency and just stay in that. Just don't go out of that unless you come to one of these calls and you have some specific questions and I say, hey, you can go into this course of mine and get a deeper dive on that particular topic. And I would recommend that you go do that. But honestly, you shouldn't need any of that until you're well down the road. Just go into high leverage agency, stick in a high leverage agency, and just go, just like Chris is doing there. Okay. Dawson, my man. How's it going, sir? Oop, can I hear you?
There we go. Unmute. There we go.
There you go.
How's it going?
It's great. How about you?
Good.
Good. Give us the update.
Yeah, so I decided to invest more money in the business. So what I did was I rented an art gallery studio for 3 months.
Nice. I love it. So you can showcase the pictures?
Yeah.
I like that.
So I have it's kind of like what they call a hot desk at a co-working space. It's this massive desk, and there's a chair, and there's some amenities there, and everything's right close by. So for 3 months, I could have that, and I got it for about $230.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, it's a 24-hour access. The parking is right next to it, so I just go there. And so I got that on June 6th. So I've showed up every day for the last 15 days. This is the most days I've worked in a row is 15 days.
Good, man. That's awesome. Getting after it. I love it.
Yeah, so I'm eventually probably prepping for the 90-day challenge, but I'd have to make sure I can actually work the 90 days in the first place. So this is the first step on the way there.
Yeah. Good, man. I love it. That's awesome. That's great commitment.
Yeah, and I got a second office about a half hour away, and I got that for $150 for this month. But this one's like really quiet. I can go and I can work and I can focus. So I go there for multiple hours, and there's no buzzing in the generators, and there's no HVAC problems. I can sit down and do my work.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it, man. Well, good. Keep on getting after it. And those are not San Diego office prices, man. I love it. I wish I could get a $150 office around here.
Yeah, it's more of like a shared workspace, but I mean, like I could there's a lockup, I have my keys, so I got my key, and it's
Good,
the first one is 24 hours, so there's no excuse for me not to go. I'm going there every day, and I'm going to go there for 90 days in a row.
That's good. I love it. I love it, man. Great job. Keep it up.
So the important thing is to invest in yourself, invest in your business. So that's what I've been doing. So I've been like learning, okay, it's okay to spend money and take risks, and then work, try to work that back. So
yeah,
my one question was, how was the Detroit conference?
Oh my gosh. Thank you for asking. It was fantastic. Yes. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk about it because it was really, really, really good. If people are not aware of what he is talking about, I went to an event hosted by a company or a business. Oops, that's not it. Hold on. this right here. So one of the things that I think is super important for everybody right now, and I know it's super important for me right now, is I think that as we continue to go more AI, which we're going to, the world is aggressively going more AI in every conceivable way here over the next few years. I think real human relationships and your business network and the community that you have are going to become increasingly important. I mean, they're already so important, but they're going to become increasingly important. And I think that anything that you can do to deliberately develop your community is going to be a good investment. And so I decided to go ahead and invest in going to this event from this group called Summit. If you're not familiar with them, they started a good, I don't know, 15, 17 years ago. Some young entrepreneurs, really ambitious, said, we're going to create this community of, what I describe as just like interesting people doing interesting things. Lots of entrepreneurs, but also lots of researchers, scientists, people very into health and fitness, artists, like just a lot of fascinating people. I really did have imposter syndrome the first day I was there because I was meeting all these people and I'm just like, oh my gosh, you guys are all doing crazy cool stuff. So I went to this event in Detroit. So it was their big annual event in Detroit. Let's see if I can pull up the page for that. Yeah, this one right here. And it was probably 1,500 people or so. And you can see here, these are all the speakers that they had at this event. I mean, look at this: Scott Galloway and Shermichael Singleton, which these guys were amazing. Dr. Bernice King, so Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter. Tim Urban, Dan Gilbert, who's the richest man, I believe, in Michigan, entrepreneur. Ev Williams, who was he the co-founder? Yeah, co-founder of Twitter. I mean, just Steve Kotler, who you guys may have read some of his books. Lori Gottlieb, relationship person.
Oh, you missed one, Mike.
Oh yeah,
you got
who?
The Whalers.
Oh yeah, the Whalers.
You got the Whalers. Did you see the Whalers?
I did. Oh yeah, I saw the Whalers a couple different times. Cool. So you can see here. I mean, look at this. Is the speakers just for a 3-day event. I mean, it was unbelievable. The number. This guy was fascinating, by the way. Pablos Holman. Holy cow! What a smart dude. Interesting guy. So
the SpaceX guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tesla, SpaceX, everything. So it was all this, plus it was just crazy networking opportunities and entertainment, parties, dinners, all this stuff. I mean, it was just a blast. And a couple of big takeaways for me. One, it just got me into a different lane, like a different, I'm here working with agencies all day, every day, thinking about HighLevel all day, every day, thinking about marketing all day, every day. And you go spend some time with a smart person who's like, yeah, I don't spend any time thinking about that at all. Here's what I do. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's cool to just get totally different perspectives and just proactively build that community. And I think that, like I said, right now I believe we are in the most interesting time in history, and that will be proven when we look back on it, X years from now. And I think going and just surrounding yourself with interesting people that are going to challenge your ideas is a really, really good investment right now. So thank you for asking. And I just highly recommend. I sent an email earlier this week to everybody saying, hey, get to the HighLevel Summit. If you're a digital agency, get to the HighLevel Summit if you possibly can this year. Go connect with people in person, make those relationships. It is so stinking valuable. That's the only business trip that I've done for the last 3 years, is just go to the HighLevel Summit. So I think it's oh, look at this. Kai, my man. I got my gold award. That's awesome. I will be there. I'll be high-fiving, cheersing. Look at that. Hit 75K a month. Booyah. Love it, Kai. Man, you're the man. Keep getting after it, buddy. I love that. Awesome, Dawson. Anything else?
Yeah, so I'm in the art community, so I can see the art before it comes out. And I'm also in the tech community with my other office. So we got together at a round table and we were working on prompts. So I think AI prompts, so putting the right prompts in for
Cool.
the search engines is a key thing to do. So I've been getting my in the right position there. And then I probably just ask, how was Bottle Rock? Did you see Green Day? Because they're my favorite band of all time.
I didn't see Green Day, unfortunately, but
That's
Bottle
okay.
Rock was awesome. Talk about an amazing festival. It really is. Like it's first class. They definitely do it right.
So you invested in the summit, in the festivals, and you come back and you have your most productive day on Tuesday. So I mean, there's some kind of correlation here. So
I believe
love
that's
it.
right.
I'm doing the same thing too. We're over here, and
I love it.
thanks for spending for me to spend 5 minutes with a smart person like you.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, man. I appreciate you, Dawson. It's good to hear from you, bud.
Okay, have a good rest of your week.
You too. We'll talk to you soon. Nimish, is that right? I don't want to butcher your name. Is that right? I hope so. Give me a wave if you want to come on camera. Awesome. Cool. How's it going, sir?
All good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. How can I help you?
First of all, I just wanted to tell people, you mentioned about going to that event. I was at the SaaSpreneur event in London last week. I know Carlos was there as well. I didn't actually meet him.
Yeah.
It was great. And also, I was just waxing lyrical with Sean, how wonderful you are, and he agreed. So
thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's awesome.
And for anybody who's new to Mike's stuff, the high leverage agency content is really, really comprehensive. And I'm one of those people who likes to study things properly, and it is gold. So I highly recommend it. And I would also recommend going through it again and again. Don't just do it once, don't skip, because there is a lot there. But,
very important. That's a great point. Yes, because it's a bunch of years of experience trying to pack into a course, and it's a lot. So thank you.
The questions I've got, in your prime to pump strategy that you mentioned in your training recently, if you're targeting an audience that's not local and it's national, but obviously I'm in the UK, so it's smaller obviously than the US, but it's still national. Would the prime to pump strategy still work because the audience is a very specific niche that you're targeting, and it's not just any general any business owners? So would you still adopt that strategy?
Totally. Yep. Yeah, you just want to make sure that the content, the title of the content, the images of the content, things like that they are speaking to that audience, but absolutely still the same approach.
And the budget you probably increase slightly because it's national.
Yeah. Yes. And I would consider, do you need to do it nationally versus are there specific markets that you would want to target and just create individual campaigns for those markets? I mean, I'm not saying that it's necessarily right or wrong either way, but as an example, when I have expanded nationally, what I've really done most of the time is I've said, okay, yeah, I'm expanding nationally, but really it's New York, LA, these are the markets that I'm really going after first. And I've created individual campaigns for those markets. That way I'm not just picking up the random customer in the middle of Kansas if that's not really what I'm aiming for, or my messaging is going to be really different for, a New York person versus a Kansas person. So it's just something to consider. If the services truly are, hey, I'm just going to take anyone from anywhere and the messaging is essentially going to be the exact same, then sure, you can do it nationally.
Okay, cool. Another quick question I've got, if you don't mind, is you mentioned that you always advocate putting prices on your website. Now, I've got a package, which is obviously like a 3-tier package. The other 2 packages would include things like ads, and the third one would be sort of newsletters and social media and all the rest of it. So when it's at the higher levels, would you also add prices on your website?
What kind of price points are we talking about?
So you probably talk about, for the first lowest one, would probably be about $4.97. The second one would probably be around about sort of $600 odd, and the third one would probably be sort of like 14 because it's all inclusive. Yeah,
I would put those prices on my website still. I mean, you look at just like HubSpot. I mean, HubSpot has pricing just for software, just for the tools that are, I mean, their pricing they show on their website is in the thousands of dollars a month. So yeah, I mean, there's no problem with having that pricing up there. The good thing is once somebody is talking to you, they already have awareness of those prices, and the prices are the prices. So I hate more than anything in your sales process, you should hate wasting time because somebody has unreal expectations, right? I mean, that's the worst. Like it's literally just a sales process and sales cost killer. So I would much rather that you know what my price points are and that you know that we're just a productized service and we don't do this, but we do that. And like, I want you to know all that information before I waste any time being on a phone call with you or anything like that, because then I know you're actually qualified, at least to the extent of you understand my pricing and you know, can likely pay for it because you're still in the conversation with me.
Okay. Final question, if you don't mind. When you mention about foot in the door offers and you say, for example, websites, if you got an opportunity of communicating to a large audience, your target market, and if you're doing websites, would you do that as a limited time offer and say this is available for a certain time period only to generate that urgency, or would you not do that?
What I've always done is done a limited quantity for a period of time. So in other words, we're doing free websites. Obviously, we can't build an unlimited number of free websites every month. So every month we limit that to 15 businesses, first come, first serve. If you pay and you're one of the first 15, you're on there. If not, you get pushed to the next month. And that has always done the trick to create the urgency that we need.
And would you use conversation AI to actually do that whole, not induction process, but that sales process? So if they'll go to a landing page, you can put their details in and that questions that they ask, would you try and automate it using conversation AI, or would you think that audience would possibly require somebody, you need to be speaking to them on the phone, for example?
Well, I think that it is most likely, in a good percentage of cases, it's going to require getting somebody on the phone. But that does not mean that you shouldn't still do the automation that you're talking about. I think that you can get a long way in that conversation using the automation, and then you will get to a point with a lot of those cases where it's like, now's a good time for a human being to jump in. And so that's my recommended approach on everything that you're selling. And I think that this all changes, and everybody, I want everybody to understand this, how much this changes the more you're in business, the more consistently you're making these offers, and the more that you are demonstrating your reliability as a service provider and your proof as a service provider. Because the first time that you make these offers to a brand new audience, you're going to get a certain percentage of people that they're the fast movers. They're willing to take some sort of risk with you, even though they don't really know who you are, because the offer sounds good. And they're like, it's only $97, whatever it is. I'm going to jump. And then 6 months later, you make that same offer in your newsletter to people who have been on your list for 6 months, and they're consistently hearing from you. They're consistently seeing you doing things. A much greater percentage of people are now going to jump at that offer because you've got some credibility. And so these things just get easier and easier to sell, and you get higher and higher conversion rate, and you start to get people who will just go to the website, hit the button, put in the credit card because they want to make sure that they get in line fastest. So that, that evolves over time, and just expect that, that consistency in the marketplace is going to pay off for you over time.
Brilliant. That's great. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for asking all those, I know there's quite varied questions, but appreciate the time.
Yeah, no, it's great. Great having you here. Good to see you.
Thanks.
Let's see here. I have to wrap up here, gang, but I'm going to really quickly, Mike, you need an actual referral code. So here, right there is almost certainly the referral code that you need. I just typed it into the comments, but it's right there. That's essentially our referral code for everything with HighLevel. So if they're asking you to put in some sort of code anywhere, that is almost certainly it. And I know that that's kind of a pain in the neck, but that's the code that I got. So also with any of this, gang, you can email help@servicesthatscale.com, and our team will make sure we get you set up with everything that you need. So don't stress about it. If you feel like, hey, I need to get some help with any of this, just email my team. Okay. Lucas, yes, absolutely. And any of their offers, guys, any of HighLevel's offers that you take advantage of through me, you can get you can get all my bonuses. Yeah. I don't discriminate. I don't want you to have to worry about, I have to sign up for the $497 thing to get Mike's stuff. I don't hold back any of it at any level for any offer. I just, it's good for me if you're a customer. That's fantastic. And I'm glad to try and help. Okay. That upgrade link should be on that HighLevel bonuses page. There's all kinds of spots on there. Let me just show you real quick. Hold on one second. Yep, HighLevel bonus. Oh no, that's a different one. Sharing this tab to StreamYard. Yeah, so then scroll down here. You can also upgrade to Agency Unlimited or Pro. So if you just click on either of those links, depending on what it is that you're trying to do, that will take you to my upgrade pages. Okay? And then you should be all set. Right? And those are all over the page. Like as you scroll down, you'll continue to see them. Carlos, my man. Oh, thank you so much. Carlos, I believe you were the one who sent me the information about real estate in Portugal, right? And I'm so sad that I did not get to meet you in person. And if that was you, I am so impressed by the hustle. My man, I love it. And I also love that you are a San Diego guy. That's such cool history. I am definitely interested in being in touch on that. If that was in fact you, I think it was you. I got to go back and look. But I am definitely interested in being in touch on that. So let's please connect. Okay. No, Jamal, I do not recommend that at all. Okay. This is, I want to spend a minute and talk about this. Okay. So Jamal is asking, do you recommend that I do the marketing and then charge a percentage of the business I bring the owner? So I brought you $50,000 a month of business. I'm going to charge 25% of that, right? This is a pitch that has been made to by gurus in the industry. And I'm going to talk a little, I typically don't like to talk nasty about anything, but I'm going to talk a little bit nasty here. This isn't nasty. I'm just going to be real with you. Is that there's a lot of, as you know, gurus out there that haven't actually done and don't know anything other than they know how to put together a really good pitch online and sell stuff. And that is one of them, right? This pitch that, oh, look, you don't have to just sell services. You can become a, marketing guru who has unlimited income potential because you can grow their business and take a percentage of it and all this type of stuff. That works for a very, very, very small percentage of people, one, and two, it is full of just complexity and stuff that you most likely do not ever want to be involved in unless you have found like a particular business that you want to go all in on. So let me just give an example, Jamal. If I found a plumber here in San Diego who had developed this plumbing business that he had some secret sauce on how he could be the best plumber and most profitable plumber, and I got to know him, and I was considering maybe even investing in his business or buying his business. But instead I said, you know what? I'm really good at marketing and I don't want to do any of this plumbing stuff. You're really good at plumbing. You don't want to do any of this marketing stuff. Let's combine forces, and I'm going to make an investment in your business of my time, my talent, my energy, my systems. I'm going to do all the marketing, and I'm going to get a percentage of your business, and we're going to go all in on growing this business like a weed. Essentially, I'm becoming a partner in that one business. Then yes, that's a great model. You're bringing your complementary skills and they are as well. And you're essentially now like a co-founder of the business or a key investor in the business who's also going to be a strategic employee in growing that business. You're going to be the head of marketing and sales, right? But if you're just telling me, oh, I'm just going to go and, start marketing for the plumbers and I'm going to take a percentage of their business. Good Lord. One, how are you going to track that? So you're gonna have this plumber sharing their financials with you, and you think that that's going to go well? You think that the plumber's going to want to share their financials with you? Two, how are you going to actually track which revenue came from your activities? And you're not going to expect a fight with that plumber over that. You can guarantee there's going to be a fight. Three, what happens when things go wrong? Because it's going to go wrong and they're going to argue with you about it. They're going to not want to pay you. As soon as the payments to you start getting a little too high and they're thinking, I could be buying like my, vacation home instead of paying this clown. And it's me doing all the work anyway. I'm the one doing all the hard plumbing stuff. Why am I paying this guy? That's going to happen immediately. And by the way, no matter how good you are at marketing, if you're really like doing this at a risk level, like I'm investing my money and taking risk and taking a percentage of that person's income, you're not going to want to do this for a bunch of businesses. You're going to want to find really, really good businesses and go all in with them because it's hard work. It's hard work to run marketing effectively, really, really effectively for just one business. So if you're taking like financial responsibility and risk, you're going to want to go all in, not scatter yourself across a bunch of different plumbers, right? So Jamal, I hope I've made it clear. That is a terrible, terrible model unless you are literally just going to partner with a business or something like that and literally be a partner, be a co-founder, be a, key investor in that business. Otherwise, ignore the gurus telling you to do that. It is a total, it's a bunch of BS to try and get you to buy into their systems. Okay. Awesome, Kai. I love it, man. Let's see here. Service delivery or jack of all trades first hire, can that be outsourced? I would advise that you get a person on your team. That person can be an outsourced person. It can be a contract person. It can be a part-time person. But what's critical is that that person is going to need to get to know your business, your service delivery processes, your customers, and work with you closely to continue to refine and improve that service. So don't think that you can just sign up for, one of the many outsourcing services and just think that you're going to hand all of that over to them. You're not. You can do some basic first line support handoff to those services, but you need to have somebody who's a key member of your team that's really going to help you improve your service delivery. Okay. So absolutely, Jack. Thank you. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Violet. What's up, Mookie? Carlos, awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the hustle. I look forward to chatting with you more on that. Okay. You bet, Paul. Thank you. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your Friday, a great weekend. Thank you so much for being a part of my community. Thank you for your business. I appreciate it. I hope you got good value out of this call. And generally, we have these weekly as long as I'm not traveling. But if you need anything in between these calls, please post in our community and myself or my team will help you out. Otherwise, we'll see you on a future office hours. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.